Hello folks, and welcome to Game 2 of this Stall At It Europe coverage. We've got Yellow Submarine versus CIS Rejects. Yellow Submarine had a dominant start, I think a 10,000 gold lead, and then CIS Rejects get their BKB on the anti-mage, and suddenly 2 fights later, Yellow Submarine are pretty much out of it. So, once again, I'm Llama Down Under, I'm joined by PqMz, and we've got Mac Dota on stats, I think, I'm not quite sure, because there were some troubles with the lobbies. And let's get into this. PQ, what do you think Yellow Submarine needs to do differently this time?
I think they did step one, which was ban the Bane, so it enables their mid lane to be a lot more secure. Basically all Goblak did last game was sit in mid lane and make sure the Arts wasn't getting any CS. Really, he had to pay a lot for everything he got, so banning the Bane out makes a lot of sense. And getting the slider for themselves, as I've talked about before, I feel like it enables a lot, so I feel like their draft's really open right now. With CIS, they pick up like the Darkseer and the Wyvern, which is very choreographed how you want to play the game.
Yeah. And getting both sides getting their offlaners out super early. Wyvern Darkseer, obviously a powerful combo, so you can definitely set up a fantastic Winter's Curse with the vacuum and after the wall, and same deal, Slaughter can help set up a good AA blast depending on how things go. I wonder if the offlaners will have an easier time than last game.
I think the Darkseer probably will, just because of how the hero works. He's a lot greedier in general, and the entire premise of the hero is getting items. So he needs to do better than the offlaners did last game, because they were both, like, respectively the poorest people on their team at one point.
100%. Now, we're gonna be seeing a couple, just the Spirit Breaker ban out. I can't remember whether he was banned last time, but definitely the Tusk. There he is. I'm still really surprised at how low these guys prioritize the Tusk.
I think makes a lot of sense. If you go for the Darkseer Wyvern, you want to get them as a duo. One of them will get banned away from you if you don't, so that makes a lot of sense. Vladar Tusk as an opening, quite strong, but at the same time, I feel like it limits your lanes a lot more than just going for Slider AA, who's obviously picked as a counter to the Winter Wyvern this time.
And apparently, CIS Rejects are 2-0 when they have both the Wyvern and the Darkseer, and those wins were against OG and Kai P. So while it's Kai P. While Kai P maybe not seen as one of the strongest teams, you beat OG with this combo, I'm scared for Yellow Submarine.
How long ago was that, though?
Yeah, it was probably about a month back, most likely, when those teams last played, but still
like
impressive.
OG have just gone from, like, a tier 2 team to a solid tier 1 team, literally through the major. They went so far up.
This is also true, and it's something we've seen before, where I think teams definitely get stronger if they're able to play other stronger teams. So
I think that's like coming down to the players they have, though. The ability to adapt and learn on a LAN event is basically just how much experience you have and how smart you are when you play Dota. There's a lot of really good players who wouldn't be able to adapt because they're very set into their styles.
So now we're going to be seeing Phantom Lancer banned out. I'm a little bit surprised. Okay.
Radiant team pick.
CIS Rejects actually being the ones to ban out the AM. I was going to say I was surprised Yellow Submarine went for the Phantom Lancer ban out over the AM. Both heroes present a lot of issues where you have to make sure that your lineup has enough lockdown to deal with them. So I would be more worried about the AM just because he can farm so much faster, but I guess Yellow Submarine prioritizing no doppelganger off. No doppelganger action. And Wraith King!
The thing with banning the PL is he's really elusive against ladder, so it makes your initiations a lot harder. You can always doppel walk away from the stun if you're on top of it. And if you're worried about the anti-mage like you are, you've got amp damage, and Slider does a lot to that hero. He can actually kill him at most points of the game with +1, and they're always going to have that quote-unquote +1 with the AA. So it makes a lot of sense that they ban the PL out instead.
Now, a bounty hunter picked up by CIS Rejects, this hero, is kind of funny. He got nerfed in the patch. Well, he was getting picked all the time, of course. He gets nerfed in 6.85. He doesn't get touched by a lot of teams until the later end of this patch, and I feel like people are figuring out good ways to use him, make sure that he's still highly effective in their
10
games.
seconds remaining.
Alright, so it was just the track nerf, right?
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
but I think this greatly affects a lot of different things. I feel like nerfing the track just means that Bounty Hunter has to get a lot more done in lane, because just leeching experience around the map and getting that level 6 isn't as powerful, since track isn't as good.
Yeah, I was just checking because if there was anything else, I didn't remember it. The track vision is obscene though, because it used to be so annoying to play against. Like,
Yeah.
you go to push out a lane and then you go to 5-man smoke. Wait, you can't do that because the hero that was pushing out a lane just got tracked.
And also the
It was
fact
so
that base sieging,
cancerous.
it made it so that it was really easy for the team with the Bounty Hunter to base siege, because as long as you got one track off, suddenly you had vision of the entire enemy team.
Yeah, and the hero still does the same thing in premise. It's just it's much more balanced now, where you don't get a buttload of vision from track. You get the vision from the hero itself, and you still get the momentum from the team fights, where you get ahead with something like Pop
Radiant
Darks here in the
team
fights,
back.
which are fairly good at fighting early. Then you get more items for the rest of your team, and all is good. I'm not sure it's going to work this game because what Yellow Submarine have right now is really hard to fight into.
I also feel like Yellow Submarine have really gone for the strategy. As you said, it's
10 seconds
you can fight
remaining.
into us, but you're going to take a crap ton of damage. And if you do, this is the beauty of a
5
Wraith King.
seconds remaining.
If you blow the Winter's Curse to kill him, I mean, you have to use this Winter's Curse such that he kills his allies, and then you kill the Wraith
Reserve
King
time.
twice when he's alone. And that's a really hard ask with a Viper in the mix.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, and currently the damage output is Quap and Iron Shell, and Shuriken Toss does a lot of damage as well, but it's on a really long cooldown. So the last hero is going to have to do a lot of damage. Otherwise, their lineup is kind of falling apart, I feel like.
10 seconds
And I
remaining.
know it's really early to say that, but it's just when you lack damage in
5
heroes like
seconds
Viper, Wraith King, even Slardar, it's just so hard to stop them using that second, third
Reserve
volley of
time.
spells, which are also effective.
Yeah, and it's something where they all get more powerful because Slaughter's in the game. Viper, traditionally not a hero who right-clicks terribly hard. It's actually something where he's kind of one of those heroes where if you leave him alive, he just does enough damage over time, but he's not a hard right-clicker. Nobody goes, yeah, Viper, hard carry. But with amp damage and so on, and Viper strike and the poison attack slowing people down all over the place, you're gonna be having a rough time getting away, and you're taking a lot more damage than you expected.
And on top of that, he's healing himself as well. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
like I said at the start, Slardar enables a lot of heroes to be more than you think they are. Viper's a really strong
10
lane dominating
seconds
hero,
remaining.
but now, just because Slardar is in the game, he scales to the
5
late game.
seconds remaining.
So,
Hero's stupid, honestly.
we have
Can't wait for it to get nerfed.
we have an Ursa ban out.
Reserve
Really smart ban.
Okay, explain.
Well, I was saying they need damage. Ursa's probably the highest damage outputting hero in the game. And sure, they have a lot of stuns and ways of kiting him, but if he ever connects on the Viper or the Wraith King, they're gonna drop so quickly. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I feel like it's actually pretty hard to be an Ursa here because, as you said, the kite factor. But if he could get a Blink Dagger initiation, maybe there's a Winter's Curse of Dreams, he could have done a lot of damage. It's also something where you have to constantly be checking the Roche Pit. You have to constantly be buying dust or sentries for this Bounty Hunter. Your economy is really hurt against that type of lineup.
I mean, don't get me wrong, as you said, and I don't think it's the best Ursa game, but from what CIS actually need for their lineup to work, Ursa kind of fitted that. And sure, you have to take into account what you're against, but most importantly, it has to work regardless of what you're playing against when you draft.
10
So,
seconds
They could maybe go for Clinks, it gives them a lot of damage. They've got the double invis, which Jug's not too bad either, I guess.
I feel like Jug is another one of those heroes that's really risen in popularity. Fun facts, the Bounty Hunter, he dropped from, he basically, his popularity was cut by 3/4, and now he's doubled from the beginning of this patch to the end. But the Jug, he's a hero that another one didn't see him too much earlier on in this patch, and now just shooting up. Everybody's playing that Juggernaut, and Battle Fury back in fashion.
10
Yeah,
seconds
people have just
remaining.
found the way they want to incorporate this hero into this type of
5
meta game.
seconds remaining.
I think the Battle Fury works really well because when you have a strong laning stage and you can transition into being a really high net worth hero and fighting really well, it's pretty good all around hero, right?
Yeah.
Just that the Mask of Madness was no longer the way to go because he couldn't solo Roche it
Yep.
12 minutes.
I feel like my only meh thing on the Juggernaut is spin as the game progresses becomes a spell that's just very underwhelming, and it feels like it also just what's the right way to say it? His game, when you spin as opposed to a BKB, you can't attack as much, right? And it's just underwhelming. You have to use it as an escape tool. It becomes like damage output early game to you escape away, and if you misuse it, you die anyway. It just seems...
10
Think of it this way though, if you were going to be stunned by Wraith King or Slardar anyway and you spin, you're outputting damage that you wouldn't be outputting anyway, and on top of that you immune to 1 or 2 spells.
Yeah.
So it's still a good spell, but I do agree you do eventually have to transition into a BKB when you rely on the right clicks.
And I've seen in a lot of games a lot of resistance in transitioning over to that BKB because they do have the spin. Folks saying, hey, we've got this Jug, he has a spin, let's not get him a BKB. And sometimes you just need it. It sucks, but it's similar to... There are heroes, there are carries like Spectre, where you don't want to go that BKB. You just want to build a bunch of damage, be a gloss cannon. Sometimes you need a BKB.
Yeah, even Lifestealer, who has an inbuilt BKB, needs a BKB in certain games.
Yeah.
I'd definitely say this is one of the games you would consider getting BKB or like your 5th or 6th item.
Yeah. So.
Got so much scrap coming out from the Wraith King, who going to be throwing a lot of stuns. The Nyx stuns are really long. Slardars, they can basically perma-stun you, I think. Obviously, you'll die before like the 6th or 7th round of stuns, but it can last a really long time if they chain it well. And there's no interruptions, which isn't going to happen because it's a game of Dota, but the possibility is there.
The ability to kill individual heroes on the side of Yellow Submarine is really good. And Pawnee. Good luck, Pawnee. I don't know.
Yes, it's PSM.
Okay. Well, could be.
Just a guess.
That would. Oh yeah, you're probably wrong. Probably is like my friends, my allies on the Dio team who've forsaken me. Let's do a quick round of introductions. We've got Goretz on that Slaughter, Ancient Apparition. Oh, he even already. Oh, this is a interesting build from Slaughter, and not the one I was expecting in the slightest. I mean, obviously he's that support Slaughter since we have Nyx offlane, but Orb of Venom, Dust, and 3 tangos. Life's gonna be rough. Either way, PSM on that Ancient Apparition, Arts on the Wraith King with a lot of regen, Scandal playing that Viper, and now Nyx Assassin already out in the bottom lane being played by Miposhka.
Over for CIS rejects, we have God Black on the Bounty Hunter, 666 on the Juggernaut, Iceberg on the Quaff, Always Wanna Fly on the Wyvern, and Afterlife on the Darkseer.
Yeah. Now, we had already said we think it's pretty scary to fight into Yellow Submarine's lineup, but of course I think that if CIS rejects get a good pick, they can certainly make a fantastic teamfight happen, and when you create an illusion of the Viper, you can get, I believe, infinite Viper corrosive skin action.
I think there's a range on it now.
Oh yes, there is. That's correct. That's totally correct. My mistake. 1 second, I need
Because that was so stupid. Like when you used to replicate him with Morphling and just hit him once,
Yeah, it was hilarious.
it would kill him.
And
Morphling
by
was a killer.
bad, you mean awesome. Dirty Viper players getting punished. No.
Yeah, but Viper's no longer the cancer he once was. He's now like dual laned constantly, which is why he's not picked that much.
Yeah, I forgot. It's 1400 radius, folks, so you can probably still get a lot of it to be a pain in a team fight, but it now no longer means that the poor, you won't see it in this game, but I've definitely seen AAs try to Ice Blast a Viper and then just take a lot of damage. Now, this mid lane, I feel like it's one that Viper should really be dominating in, but Iceberg already throwing out the Shadow Strike and Scandal taking a lot of damage. Of course, he'll have a better time as he gets levels.
Yeah, and the hard thing is, you have to account for the Bounty Hunter, so... your regen game's going to be slower because he has the chicken sat at the tier 3. He can't get that right now because he has no knowledge of where the Bounty Hunter is.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to have to go back and get that regen if he ever wants it.
At least he is CSing well, as you expect a Viper to, with that nice passive of Nether Toxin. So, checking out some other lanes. 666 is going to get fantastic farm down here. They can probably also get a kill on Nyx Assassin, just because the spin, of course making you magic immune, means that you won't be nice and stunned up when you're attempting to go on him by the spiked carapace.
Yeah, but as a flip to last game, he's actually going to be getting his levels this game. Really important.
I think just
Darkseer
early...
is getting completely zoned.
I'm actually really surprised the Wyvern hasn't come and just scared off Miposhka. I mean, you get an Arctic Bone on that guy and suddenly he's like, nah, I'm out. I'm actually going to die here. So a little bit surprised, but Miposhka, oh not Miposhka, always want to fly, instead deciding, hey, if I do some funky stuff, creeping, oh goodness, we have First Blood up in that top lane. The Doxy were talking about being zoned, but instead I'm watching on that Scandal, because I saw a jump coming out here. So,
That was
Goretz,
without the Wraith King either. He didn't use anything.
yeah, was it just Chilling Touch and Goretz getting, yeah, Slithering Crush? He got pretty low there, but...
Well, he's a level 1 Darkseid, so he has no escape mechanism. He should be hitting level 2 here though, I think.
Yeah, and there we go, hits level 2. Slaughter suicides to a creep since it's the fastest way home, and again, as we talked about, you can see Scandal having a rough time. He can't even get himself a cute little bounty rune.
Yeah, but it's not going to be too bad, I don't think, for Scandal this game.
It's nice, he's naturally tanky against heroes like the Queen of Pain since she has a lot of magic output, but I still think, as you said, it's really rough with the Bounty Hunter, it's really rough with these other heroes going around, and we do see Always Wanna Fly go down to the Nyx Assassin.
Which I
Shouldn't
don't quite
happen.
know how it happened, but he,
Ooh, up
as soon
top,
as Nyx has boots,
they kill off Gold Black. So,
yeah, and this Bounty Hunter's pretty much not done anything yet, except annoy the hell out of Scandal.
now, he did get dusted there and then unfortunately have to pull through a sentry. Not that he'd have been able to get the dust off as he, like, level 1 bounty hunter. It's rough, and this is what I was talking about. I feel like with the nerf to track, while you're still obviously a good
Dire's
hero,
bottom tower is under attack.
you are no longer so easily able to get levels, and you have to get that 6, and it's not as good. And then down in bottom we see exactly what we talked about. It was the Arctic Burn into the spin, no escape for a Nyx.
And meanwhile in mid, the bounty ends up connecting on Scandal.
Yeah,
Don't
let's
think
see.
it'll be enough.
I agree. I don't think it'll be enough, and actually Goldblack taking a lot of tower hits, and so, the stun not connecting for Nyx either. And while Scandal is getting very low, he's getting some regen out of Miposhka.
Yeah, but he bought a set of tangos, and this is the second self that he's going to be throwing out. So a lot of the gold he's earning from his last hits, which already isn't the highest, going to regen, so it's not going to items.
Yep. So we
Whereas
also
Scandal's
see...
just...
What's
Scandal's actually buying items, as opposed to buying regen, because he bought bottle.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower
So we
is
also
under
see
attack.
down on top the Slaughter falling to the Darkseer. So he got a kill there. I don't think he was in range, though.
Guessing Slaughter went for the tower dive and then died to Ion, right?
Yeah. So he was very, very low on the Darkseer, but not able to make it match. Now Goldblack, he's gotten level 2 up in top lane. And gonna see what else he can get out of this action. Oh goodness.
I'm probably just going to be leeching up
Oh,
here as
God.
much as he can.
And as we say that, he takes a Wraith Fire Blast. There's gonna be a Slithering Crush, and that's gonna be another death. They don't even use the Slithering Crush.
That's really smart, actually, because Slaughter doesn't have the most mana pool, and if Darkseer had happened to be there for the search, by the time the cast animation comes out, you'd have been able to stun him.
Yeah.
It's not often players do that, and now Darkseer's...
I mean, even just that, although they don't get the kill, even just zoning him.
Oh,
What is
Jug's dead
going on?
bottom.
No, he's not dead. He's, oh goodness, the healing ward, will it be enough? It's not enough.
Why do you doubt me? I am right. He was dead.
This game is just really weird. I've been like clicking around. There are all these kills and people I'm not expecting to go down. I'm like, how are you dying, Wyvern? How are you dying, Jug? What are you doing under tower taking 5 hits? Like,
Well, he wanted to Omni, I'm gonna guess, but I'm gonna put it down to the fact Nyx fogged him, and then he got a stun out of the fog, and how it does work.
I'm actually confused this game because I feel like the kills that are going down are not the ones I'm used to seeing. Goretz now is probably going to be the next target, unfortunately for Quap. Yeah, only 1 point in that blink, meaning it has 15-second cooldown, so she can't catch him, so never mind, I spoke too soon. Goretz is just going to get away. And now...
Yeah, the Wraith King's farming really well top as well.
Gosh,
And
will
Cold
this
Feet's
make the
probably
cold
gonna
feet
latch.
proc? Oh, it does. Now there's the cold embrace though, and Art's realizing he needs to back out immediately. He can't take this harass really. He gets another bit of the Arctic Burn on him, and that spell is a real pain. Even when you're low level, you don't want to take some Arctic Burn. It does a lot of damage over time.
Is under attack.
Yeah, Wyvern's pretty good hero all around, and it's really important that he comes up there to save his Darkseer,
Oh,
because
missing-
he's having a really hard time this game.
Missing the Impale, unfortunately, but Miposhka now feeling very safe down here because there's no mana on the Jug after using that mana burn. Feeling Gucci.
Yeah, and as soon as this Nyx gets level 6, which he's probably going to have by the 7-minute mark, maybe a tiny bit later, he's going to cause a lot of problems because CIS don't have that much money right now. The bounty is pretty much just moving between lanes, getting only passive gold, and the AA's, like, sorry, not the AA, the Wyvern is, he's getting a lot of levels at least, but
Yeah.
he's not getting items.
The Wyvern has gotten a lot of levels, and we can look at this level chart. The only person lower than the Dogs here is the Slaughter, who of course is playing a support Slaughter, but he has 3 kill involvements, so he is just fine. And in mid, we're gonna see Viper taking a lot of damage, but he's returning it all into Iceboke. They use the Sonic Wave, but now here comes Slaughter. Iceboke taking a lot of damage. He doesn't have enough mana for Blink, and it's on cooldown. Slithering Crush and an auto attack. They're very happy about that, and this is exactly what we were talking about. Suddenly, Goretz, level 3.5. He's happy with getting the return kill. Yeah, it sucks that the Viper went down, but you got a big objective, and now Gold Black going in super deep, but that's because there's a Wyvern here with the Splinter Blows. These Cold Feet might actually prop, and now Gold Black's gonna go down. Goretz, oh, no damage can go from Goretz onto Gold Black here, just because that is a Wyvern, but will the Nyx Assassin, Miposhka, be able to get off that blind stun? They burn all of Gold Black's mana, and now they know that he has none. Miposhka pinging that out. Gold Black's gonna go down. 2 more auto attacks. Orb of Venom doing mad work. Oh, but the Quap is back. Miposhka comes in with the spiked carapace. The Splinter Blast is gonna hit, and he pops that ult to get away. Yeah, this game, we got 11 kills, 8 minutes in. It's pretty good.
Middle tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
This Slaughter's life is hell because the second he moves away from the lane,
Oh
to
gosh,
go maybe
Scandal.
stack, get the rune.
Will he be
Right,
able to
never
get
mind,
the deny?
Scandal's dead.
Do it, I
don't think
believe.
he
Oh, no way to get the deny against a Scream. Yeah,
You suffer, fools.
sorry, this is a bit weird.
Russian Dota.
Yeah,
Goblack's also getting the D-Ward, which is fairly important for mid. He's managed to hit level 5, which is good stuff.
shame on me, I've been casting so much Calm Dota, just wasn't expecting all of these kills, and holy Hannah, there is a lot going on here. Now, let's talk about overall winners. I feel like the Jug, even with 1 death to his name, been farming well, and Wraith King pretty much allowed to just chill alone up here with his weird croissant chin. I don't know what's going on there. So, he is having a fine old time. Nyx Assassin might be able to get a gank off on someone as well with his Vendetta coming off of cooldown.
Yeah, and while the Nyx is having a really good time and the Wraith King's pretty much equaling the Jug, the person who's really struggling, who I thought was going to be alright, is actually Scandal. So his team's going to have to make a lot of space for him, which they can definitely do.
Yeah, he's
Nyx
4th
is-
worst net worth, just Scandal things.
Yeah, and that's not Scandal's fault. He's getting a lot of hate from Goblack this game.
Yeah.
The way to rectify this is Nyx is going to have to put a lot of pressure one way or another. If he can find the Quap, then he's a really good hero at killing the Quap, obviously. But you've got to presume they have sentries in the lane.
Yep.
So it's not the easiest thing to do right now.
And speaking...
Goretz is... Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, speaking of sentries, we got a nice ward giving them all the vision in the world of what PSM is doing here, so that's gonna help out Dox here as well, who's now level 5 after his pretty rough start.
Again, they should also know the Nyx is there because
Oh.
of the ward, but I don't think it's enough.
He goes for the stun. I like that. This is gonna be good by Dox here. Jinxed him, saying that his life had gotten easier, but Miposhka, not sure if that's the way you want to walk, right into the waiting arms of Queen of Pain, although she also backs out Icebug, not wanting to make that play. But that's because on middle, guess who's gonna be going down again? It's Scandal. He's won a Sonic Wave to the face. And just, I mean, it's really rough here.
The
I
fish
don't
gonna
think...
get the return
No,
kill?
no, is Goretz gonna get the return kill? No, he backs out at the last minute, not realizing that there really wasn't. I mean, I guess Shuriken in sprint, he probably would have gone down to autos, but I think he could have gotten off the Slithering Crush. Wouldn't have been enough to kill the Quap, though.
And probably saw the Quap had a regen and the fact he was nearly dead himself.
Oh gosh, and now
the
Quap...
baits?
Oh, he is gonna probably tick out to the Shadow Strike, but can they get the Queen of Pain here? That would be totally worth it, and Icebug has no more mana. A few more auto attacks would do it, but they need to be able to get them. Slaughter finally falls to the Shadow Strike, and now Quap has Blunk away, gone for the TP. I think Slaughter, you should realize you're gonna die. Just stand there and fight, you know? Oh, and guess who's going down again in bottom lane? Not quite, they can't make the Omni/Connect.
I'm really surprised Quap managed to get out there. I thought there'd be for sure enough damage, but
Yeah.
not having the second stun on Slardar, and Nyx doesn't hit that hard.
He does not. And as you mentioned, Slaughter was completely out of mana. We've got the first big ol' A blast of the game coming out. It's gonna hit 666. He's dead. And they finally get a return kill. Viper, Scandal getting something, and they use the spiked carapace to stun up Always Want to Fly. What a beautiful play, but I still think he's outmoving them just a little bit. And now, Bounty Hunter also wrapping around. He's hit level 6 at a really great timing. Sub 12 minutes. Pretty dang nice, considering what role he'd been in.
Yeah, at the start of the game, you were pretty concerned that he wasn't going to get any levels, but both seem to be getting their levels now. AA's got 6, as we were saying earlier. Got Black as well. And obviously the Wyvern, so they can set up a lot of things now.
And even though Slaughter is having a really rough time, I do feel like, I agree with you, his life has been really rough. Can they catch Iceberg on the blink back? She may actually blink to the other side. She really wants this tower. She manages to get it, but she does blink into a bunch of them. A-balls to the face. They might get spun on here, but they might be happy to lose 1 life on the Wraith King. I mean, not happy, but if they can catch out 666, but here come the tracks and Wyvern as well. Winter's Curse, but Poshka taking a lot of damage, and there's the Omni Slash. 1 life down, 1 to go, and I think Wraith King's gonna be burning them both. He's gonna just try to walk it off, but where is the support? Viper's coming in, but this is Scandal's Viper. Whoa, what happened there with 666?
He got body blocked after his phase ran out.
Okay, well...
That would be my only guess. But I don't think it was enough for the kill anyway, so...
Yeah.
Not really favourable engagement, because level 1 Reincarnate is the longest cooldown in the game, I want to say.
Yeah, it's right on up there. It's a spell which gets 100 seconds taken off its cooldown each time you level it, and generally the cooldown on the first level of that ult is long enough that you would have had the second level by the time it's back off cooldown, so it's rough. But I'm a little surprised they didn't manage to latch on that one, but also not always the best to dive tier 2s like that. They know Slaughter's there, so Iceberg may just scream casually. Yeah, and Gorax, he goes for the TP. No, I don't think. Oh, okay. I'm a little bit surprised. Ultra Real Life did have vacuum, of course. It's level 1. I also.
I guess could have ulted as well.
Yeah, I think it's early game though, and she's waiting for understanding that there would probably be TP rotation, so wanting to make sure that she has the ult for this upcoming fight. They do see 666. They should understand that his ult is on cooldown for a little bit longer, and they're going to get the A blast, and it should proc the cold feet. It does. He doesn't bother to spin that out. It also would have reduced the AA blast damage that was being output, but I think maybe just buying out. Oh, yeah, it's no good. PSM actually taking quite a bit of damage there, but now, oh, do they have any sort of detection? PSM gonna be Arctic Burn, and Quap getting rid of that AA, but may have paid an awful price. Doesn't have Blink for 8 more seconds. A Cold Embrace gonna save her up, not taking any physical damage, but is stunned up now, and 2 more auto attacks will do it, and they're gonna get Always Wanna Fly. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, this newly placed ward will most likely be dewarded shortly, since they had an OBS up there, which saw it, but, still a good team fight for the lineup of Yellow Submarines, and this game is kicking.
Despite the fact that Quap won mid really handily and she's really far ahead in comparison, there's just so many heroes on YeS that as soon as you blink into them and you don't have a way out, you're pretty much dead. As long as there's like 2 heroes there. Slaughter's great hero, Nyx does a lot of damage to you, even Viper you can't run away from when you don't have blink, so you're gonna have to play like really carefully for the next, I don't know, like 10 minutes.
Additionally, Miposhka's almost got his Blink Dagger up. Scandal finished treads, you know, Arts has his Blink Dagger up. While they are definitely ahead in net worth on the lineup of CIS rejects, it does feel like, as you said, something where people can get assassinated at any time. And they have a lot of good single target damage coming out of Yellow Submarine. So Quap is going to go Ags first, not opting for the Orchid here. While I think I agree with this, I do think you could pick off a couple of people solo with that Orchid, but you're not really catching a Wraith King and killing him with the Orchid necessarily.
Yeah, I think the cores are just way too tanky. And on top of that, it's a small thing, but Orchid gives you some int, and then the more int you have, the more damage you take from Nyx.
Yeah.
So, on top of the fact that Orchid doesn't give you any HP, it technically makes you more susceptible, whereas Ags just generally really strong item.
She just Sonic waved the courier. Now her blink is back off of cooldown. They're burning her mono. I don't think it's going to be enough. She should just be able to blink away here really easily. And while the bounty hunter's on them, I don't think they have detection between them. So really painful.
Mid, the Dox is dead.
The Doxy is dead, and Art looking for more. He will have a blink up if he so chooses. He should be choosing. He does choose, and there he goes. Always Want to Fly. Gonna take 2 auto attacks. Oh, Cold Embrace stopping all of this damage output, but there is a Slaughter coming around. Slitherine Crush for funsies, but they actually decide not to go in Art. He's gonna burn. Oh no, he doesn't have the ult up. So he goes down, and somehow Always Want to Fly. He should tick out to that urn, but that was a bit ridiculous. And oh goodness, they're thinking about going in here. They haven't burned enough of his his mana. There's going to be an Omni Slash onto Gorath, and he just immediately burns, as does the Ancient Apparition. A big misplay coming out there. They might be able to get away on Mr. Nyx. Nope. He's going to fall as well.
No way. Yeah,
And-
and that's at least 2 track kills, I want to say.
Yeah, that was a huge swing for the lineup of CIS rejects who were already ahead in gold. While the experience is
2.4K.
even, you shouldn't at this point in the game, especially when you're ahead, be getting 2.4k off of like 4 kills, but they are. And experience now shooting up in their favor as well. And just another messy team fight, not latching.
And as much as I said in the draft that I felt YeS had a really hard lineup to fight into, as soon as you make 1 or 2 bad decisions and Bounty's able to get 1 or 2 tracks off in a fight and start snowballing a goal lead, suddenly it becomes really hard to fight into CIS just because of the Bounty, regardless of the other heroes being in the game.
Yep.
Make 1 or 2 bad decisions, you lose your gold lead if you ever had one.
Yeah. And that Aghanim, or that entire engagement means that Quap has her Aghanim Scepter up, is ready to go. Bounty Hunter had a while back picked up a Vlad's. I just really like this. I feel like it buffs up all of your cores. You're playing into a Wraith King. It's a nice way to say me too. And of course buffs up the damage. The Battle Fury up on Juggernaut, meaning that his form isn't slowing down anytime soon.
I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go for the mech, but at the end of the day, Dax is going for that, so when I saw him pick up the headdress, I was like, where's he going to go with this? Obviously, Vlad's is a really good item in general. Llama's exceptionally relevant this game because the amount of physical damage YeS have.
Yeah, and they're gonna get a quick, considering what heroes they have, kind of slow in the grand scheme of things, Roshan coming out, but it's still a really big pickup for them, and now Alts does have that level 2 ult online, so they're actually putting it on Scandal. A little bit
Makes sense.
surprised. I get it, but I feel like he's so underformed. Is it really worth it to have him be the one who comes back?
Well, think of it this way, if you kill the rest of YeS and Wraith King's left there with his ult and an Aegis, he's
Yeah.
gonna die 3 times. Whereas this way you have 2 cores that if you kill them, you know they're coming back. And
Now-
while Viper's not that farmed, he's still somewhat durable in fights, and the more damage you put into him, the more damage he does.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense.
Bounty Hunter was right on top of where Nyx vendetted, so he saw it all, and it looks like Nyx isn't going to be
some
getting
things.
anything. Yeah. So, and we've also got Scandal. He's wandering around. I mean, this is the other part of Bounty Hunter we hadn't talked about. It really does hurt your economy. You can see that the heroes on YeS. This is going to be another AA who's pretty much rocking brown boots for like 10 years. It's not easy.
Yeah, and he's had pretty big impact this game, despite the fact he's died 4 times. He's been in 10 of their kills, so you'd think he would have a bit money, but he has to give up for the fact that Goretz is going to play the greedy support, getting all of the farm, trying to work towards his blink. On top of that, there's a Nyx trying to get the same thing, so...
Yep. So now Iceberg wandering around. What do you go now? Since you went the Aghanims first, you don't really want to maybe go the Orchid here against these tanky heroes. You straight sheep sticking? You maybe being a greedy individual and going for a refresher, or just the Octarine next?
I think it depends how greedy he wants to be. Like, PqMz definitely next or his 3rd major item this game. Just whether he wants to be able to farm like really efficiently, because when you go Ags PqB, your farm potential just drops off. You have to have the mana ready to fight, but you don't have any way of sustaining outside of your bottle. So I could see a Linken's maybe this game. It's really good against Nyx, Wraith King, etc. Probably not as good against like Slardar though, so maybe even Lotus Orb could be an option.
So
If he wants to like tank up a bit and also get the regen.
I'm not sure how Arts even found the Wyvern. It looks like Wyvern was playing a bit too far up, and then he blunked over on her as she tried to escape over here. But Arts gets himself a clean kill. He's also gone for Maelstrom. I like this. One, there's a little bit of a benefit of illusion clear since you're dealing with the Darkseer. But for me, the bigger impact is just that you're... Oh goodness, they get the stun off, and they have it. Oh, they have a sentry right there. Gold Black is gonna take a tumble here. Really nice kill for them. That guy has been a pain in their behinds. I think that Wraith King has a lot of trouble farming, and so having just a little bit of a farming tool plus extra damage output, something where you can do a bit of damage in the Winter's Curse, in the Cold Embrace, really nice.
Yeah, and on top of that, if he opts to finish the Mjolnir, putting it on himself or Viper, just there's a lot of damage flowing around in these team fights, especially Iron Shell and Spin, even Shadow Strike. A lot of instances of damage, and Mjolnir rapes heroes with lots of instances of damage.
So we've also got, they just traded a tier 2 for a tier 1. Not a very favorable trade for the lineup of Yellow Submarine, especially since they're continuing the push on CIS rejects. And it's...
Always want to fly solo smoked as well. They want to fight this.
Oh goodness, Otz is TPing away. Iceberg getting ready to go in and always want to fly. As you talked about, he could be the initiation, but instead he's initiated on as long as he lives here and gets off the Winter's Coast, but it's on 1. Scandal taking a lot of damage there. That's going to be the Aegis. I think they're wishing. Oh goodness, they get the stun coming out. Miposhka, as you said, getting a stun that was basically a Ravage. Can they catch out Goldblack? He's going to have that Shadow Walk in a few seconds, and they need some sort of damage on him. Oh goodness, he is wandering away from them, between the two of them not having any vision. They do kill off the Queen of Pain on the back lines, and ironically, Otz, he TP'd back to deal with this action. He came all the way back mid because of it. Get the bash? Never mind. No such luck. It is a physical bash too. He TP's back,
100%.
and then he walks all the way back down mid lane, so it kind of sucked there. I think Otz was the one who lost out because he got no kill involvement, even though they probably got about 2,000 gold on that one, and also missed out on farming.
Yeah, but he's still at a reasonable point, and the rest of his team, they needed that catch-up. The fight they had mid was probably the best thing that could happen to them. Now they're not full yet, but they're kind of back in the game because it was really slipping out of their control. They still don't have the best way of dealing with the Jug, who he can actually Manta dodge every single stun, and he can spin dodge as well, so catching him out now is going to be really hard.
They're probably going to have to Vendetta, stun him from Vendetta. I don't think you have an option other than Impale from Vendetta here.
I suppose you could also pop the Carapace when he's about to cleave off a creep. I guess you could do that.
I think that is a difficult ask, to say the least.
Or you just stand next to the creep, you press E, then you hit him, then you stun, but that's their only way, and as long as they have some kind of vision of where the Nyx is, this Jug's going to feel really safe. Pop's also going to feel fairly safe if he doesn't see the Nyx. Feel like, especially if he goes for his PqB, which he's slowly working towards, I think.
Yeah.
Doubt it's a Deso or a Mjolnir.
Deso, Quap, maybe, for sieging, but no.
I mean, I would.
In this game, it's actually kind of funky because they're trading tier 1s and they're going to probably lose this tier 3. I'm not really sure what the plan is here from Yellow Submarines. They do have glyphs, they're forced to blow it there, but their team fight right here, not maybe the best. Oh, he actually can. Oh, it's going to be a big stun. He manages to get it. Big one again. Can they get enough damage? 666 is there, and that's going to be an Omni slash Yale. Winter's Coast is reducing the damage on Gorex, but nobody cares when you've also got a Sonic Wave coming out. That's going to be the first life onto the Wraith King, and now he has to go for another. 666 may take a tumble, and that's, I think, one of the best things they can hope for, but PSM, he TP's right into the thick of it, and I don't think that's where he wanted to be. One more auto attack, but the deny coming out from Wraith King, and now Otz, he is left pretty much solo, needs the Viper to heal up to defend this tower, and it is going down. It was a 3-for-1, and again, not a worthwhile exchange. The only saving grace here is that they don't have a bunch of damage, but I think, unfortunately, their melee racks may just go down. Nyx Assassin buys back, Otz getting ready, he does go for the blink, he's working in on Gold Black, but there's the Cold Embrace, and Otz, he doesn't have a second life here, and I think, unfortunately, he's going to be falling. He's trying to stand there and tank it, doing as much damage as he can, but the Sonic Wave rips through the brought back Nyx Assassin. That's a dieback, and this is a Rax going down.
Yes, he managed to deny like one set of track gold, but he just gave away even more trying to defend that Rax, so it's understandable that they try their best to make something happen there, because going a Rax down against the lineup that CIS have puts you in such a hard position, because you're constantly going to have the lane coming in from just the creep momentum in that side. You've got Darkseid and Wyvern and Quap, who also push out lanes really heavily, and then you've got Jug as well. So, the second you're this far behind and lanes are constantly coming in from all presumably three sides, you don't have any say on what's happening around the map. It's all going to be CIS.
Yeah, I'm very worried for Yellow Submarine. They might have the kill advantage, but they certainly don't have the net worth lead or the experience lead. Track obviously doing a lot of work, even with the vision nerfs. Their Wraith King, yeah, he's getting close to Mjolnir, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Viper, Sergeant Yasha, 26 minutes in, it's not where you wanted that hero to be, to say the least.
Yeah, and It might not just be the bounty, but Jug farms faster than Wraith King, especially with the Battle Fury, and Quap farms faster than Viper. So yes, are the lines that actually have to be applying pressure here, but as we've said before, they can't. Because A, these lanes are all coming in, and B, the calls from CIS are too mobile.
Yep. Now we've got Gold Black stalking out Goretz. And Nyx Assassin then stalking out whoever he can. That's the other thing I wanted to point out. We haven't looked at it, but this Nyx, he's only level 11. I was going to talk about how the Bounty Hunter had been having trouble finding farm because it feels like just a few moments ago he was only level 8 while everyone else was level 10. This Nyx, he just hasn't seemed to get any experience in ages. Like, offlane Nyx, you want to be picking off people, getting those solo kills. And the Wraith King, he actually blinks aggressively forwards. He's gonna get tracked in the face. Iceberg shows off that BKB ult, does have a second life, but you used it for nothing. They may have Sonic Wave, but now there's an Omni Slash bouncing around. Scandal really needs not to tank all of this. The Ice Blast, it hasn't even been used. They end up using it point blank onto Iceberg. Another two-man Impale coming out. 666 still has the spin active in 1 second. A huge Winter's Curse coming out, and he spins on top of all of them. Odds goes down. Goretz probably to follow, as is PSM, and Miposhka just trying to find a way out of this situation. I mean, it seemed good when they managed to kill off the Quap, but it's just all going downhill.
Yeah, they just don't have enough right now. The AA is actually probably the biggest source of damage outside of the Wraith King, who is getting kited in these fights. Even if there's like track up on one of the heroes, CIS just move faster, and there's even drums on the bounty. There's Surge to worry about. The Wyvern can skirt around. Obviously, Quap can blink, and Jug's pretty fast in himself. So when these heroes aren't stunned, they are just moving away from you.
Yeah. So looking like it's probably going to be at least another tier 2, maybe even the tier 3. They may decide to play it safe, back up, get the Roshan before they siege high ground, but if I were the lineup of CIS rejects, I feel like you're not that afraid of the team fight of Yellow Submarines. You've shown them time and time again that you have the superior team fight. And even with, oh gosh, Goretz, he's going all the way out there alone. This is 2v4. Nobody else is up yet. Mass TP's coming. A nice vacuum just kind of stopping them in their pulse. They managed to throw out the Guardian Greaves, so Afterlife going to be a bit of a hard kill, and they're going to use the AA Blast just on him. That's going to be pretty much a one-man kill. They're still chasing on Always Wanna Fly. They have vision of him, and Miposhka, our Impale Master, is going to see what he can do here. He might be able to get another two-man one if he does this right, but no, instead he misses, and there's still a tier 1 up here. Oh goodness, and Jug, he's back. He's got the Omni Slash in 5 seconds, doesn't even need it. Iceberg kills off 2 with the Sonic Wave, and CIS...
I really wouldn't be surprised if they end the game here after that. It was a really desperate play trying to fight while there was no wall back, there was no Winter Wyvern ulti, which was their best chance of fighting, honestly.
And there's gonna be probably an Omni Slash. They've got Viper up. Can they kill off 666? The Omni Slash is bouncing around. Scandal taking a lot of reduced damage, but now the Winter's Curse is over, and he is taking full damage. He's trying to just auto-attack on a Jug. They know if they can get him low enough, he'd die to that Ice Blast, but it's no longer even on him. PSM, the one left. Oh goodness, he's gonna go down. And that's all of them off. All of them dead. I mean, all at different times, but...
Yeah, like, there's just such a difference now. They get the two-man ulti off from the AA on both cores, which is ideal, right? But it's just not enough. They completely lack the damage.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it would have been nice if there were other two heroes that were dead were there, and it probably would have been a favorable fight then, but it is what it is. And now Roche goes to CIS, so they can probably secure Rex with this fairly easily.
And Juggernaut's playing a Diffusal. Yeah, he finishes it right there. So, deciding that's the item of choice. Gonna just drain all of Wraith King's mana, make sure that he doesn't get off a second life, and I don't see a good way out of this for Yellow Submarine.
Many dives into the fountain, I think, is about the only way. But then they still have track to equalize that. Like, the only thing is the rubber band, I feel like. But even then, so hard because you don't have control of the map at any point. Wraith King's like the only hero you have that can push out lanes.
Yeah, and we're at a 25,000 net worth lead, 15,000 experience lead. That's about the point of no return. I think we've only got something like 5 games, and probably a bit more at this point, but there are very few games of professional Dota that have comebacks at this point.
And the lineups that generally do it have a lot more way of putting pressure on the map or getting their farm or doing something. But it just feels like, yes, that they draft this very, we're gonna fight you early and we're gonna win the fights. And if that doesn't work, well, like, our strategy's kind of screwed at that point.
Additionally, because of all the buybacks coming out from Yellow Submarines, their item progression is super stalled. I mean, they don't have anything, while the Guardian Greaves have been finished on Dogseer with another 3k in the bank that could just be turning into a quick sheep stick. Blink and Force Staff on this Wyvern. Quap, of course, finished off her BKB, now working on that Shivers. Jug, Casual Diffusal for funsies, and a Lotus Orb on Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, which is really big this game. Removing the amp damage, collecting Wraith King stuns, mana burns, etc.
Yeah. So, really, I don't know, feeling rough. They do only have one racks down for Yellow Submarine, and so, as we said, there could be, you know, you've always got the rubber band effect and potential throws.
But I feel like now's the time where CIS look for their second. Pop just finished the AC, she might opt to heal up before the Aegis goes down, and then they should be looking to go. I don't see a reason for them to keep farming.
Yeah.
They've pretty much got all their items. Maybe Afterlife's looking to pick something up, but whichever item he gets, okay, he sells something and gets his BKB. So now's their go time.
Yeah, and we see next assassin, Miposhka, looking for Afterlife. I don't think Miposhka has the damage output to kill him. So just trying to give the team a little bit of vision on Yellow Submarine of what's going down.
And he's continuing the trend of last game being the poorest person on the map.
Yeah.
Not what Nyx needs to be.
I mean, you've got also some interesting item choices. This AA has a mech. I don't think I've seen that one in a while. Vlad's up on Goretz.
It makes sense what they're doing, but they're just way too far behind for, like, the mech on AA is pretty much just negating like a Quap Scream.
Yep, and now Quap is going to just stand there and tank it. Of course, Iceberg not too worried about all of their damage output because of the Aegis that she has, and their tower slowly but surely going down.
And they have to keep worrying about top pushing in as well. At least the Wraith King finishes his ACR. That's something in their favor. I doubt it will be enough though.
Oh, maybe there'll be just enough minus armor when we combine all the things. Lotus Orb put on a bit too late. Cold embracing her right in front of the tower, understanding that they don't have much damage on Yellow Submarine that can go through this. And Otz, he's gonna throw another Wraith Fire Blast. Actually stops the TP, but Goretz doesn't want to go for that one.
They have plenty of sustain though. There's still 2 more end charges. The Wyvern's obviously got the cold embrace.
Oh, a huge vacuum wall into the nice Winter's Curse. There's gonna be a sonic wave to top it all off. Oh, it's burning 1 life. Will he be burning another? It looks like it. Goretz trying to get away from the fight. The AA goes down as well, and Odds, that's his second life. There will be GG's called most likely right around here. Miposhka on the Nyx Assassin trying to do something, but can't even take out 1 life on Iceberg. And I mean, Goretz got away, but that's our GG.
Yeah, and much as I liked what they had in their draft, it felt like the Bounty Hunter pretty much just made the Viper so irrelevant that CIS was so comfortable doing whatever they wanted this game. When the Quap is like 2,000, 3,000 net worth ahead of the Viper, something is wrong.
Yeah.
That's what Bounty Hunter does.
Yeah, it was a really rough game there for Yellow Submarine. They showed a really strong presence, I feel, in the laning game, and they actually were out ahead, you know, getting good kills all across the map. But once again, I think CIS Rejects just showed superior team fight and kind of a superior game plan of what they should be doing.
Yeah, and it kind of felt that way both games. As soon as CIS got the BKB last game on the anti-mage, they were just outplaying YeS at most points.
Yep. So with that, folks, this will be the end of the StarLadder Europe coverage for the day. America starts in a few hours, so you should all go and check that out when it starts up. Once again, we've been joined by Mac_Dota. That's his Twitter name on stats. Thank you for doing a wonderful job, and we'll hopefully be having you in some of the later sets. Please go show him your love on Twitter by giving him a follow. I'm Llama Down Under. I was joined by PqMz, who doesn't do the social media, but we would all love your feedback on how to get better, so please feel free to leave that for us on Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook. Llama Down Under. We'll take all your comments, queries, inquiries, so we can bring you better calls in the future. And now, a few words from the StarLadder sponsors, and we hope to see you next time, folks. Peace out.